you'd have liked to have been playing for a place in the top 8. That's now been taken out of your hands. So what do the Rhinos hope to get from this week's game?
To continue the momentum we've started. I think obviously disappointed that it hasn't gone down to this final weekend, but when something isn't in your hands or in your control, I don't think you can whine and moan about it afterwards. So we deserve to be ninth. We're ninth for a reason. So, but the last couple of weeks we've made some strides, and I feel we're back on track and things are starting to move. It's a funny week this week because in many respects it's a game that on paper and for the league table doesn't mean that much to either of us. But actually much deeper than that and bigger than that is the momentum we're trying to gather. We've got a big game next week, we've got a semi-final, and what comes with that is the balance of picking a team so that we feel we can go and perform at Salford. A little bit with the semi in mind, but also to be smart and to be right with the squad as well, to ensure everyone gets a fair crack of the whip at this stage. So beyond this week, be our strongest 17 that the staff and the coaching staff believe is the strongest 17 for those coming weeks. But we're in a decent place, so I suppose for me it's about continuing the momentum we built last week and the week before where we started to turn the corner. We need to continue with that, and it gives us a chance to provide some opportunities to some guys that hopefully will grasp it and take it with both hands.
The bog standard question, if you like it, ahead of a game like this, a scenario like this would be, with a semi-final in mind, do you want to protect some of your squad and rest them? But given what you've just said and the momentum that's been built over the last couple of weeks, are Leeds in a position of that luxury where you can afford to do that?
It's been a real balancing act. So the only chance of us winning silverware this year is the Challenge Cup, and while ever that is on offer, I think that is really important to us. But then, do you throw your eggs all in one basket and risk losing some of the momentum that we've been able to gather and some of the belief that is in that squad now? So all those have gone into the melting pot and the conundrum for this week. But like I said, I feel we have a squad that is ready to play tomorrow night and ready to perform and do the best. And I'm excited about seeing them play tomorrow.
Jordan Thompson is one player who's going to be added to your squad. Is he going to be available straight away, or is that with next season?
No, straight away. He'll play tomorrow night. He's been a guy we've chased for a couple of weeks now, and I feel that on the outside looking in, perhaps people from the sport would think that the vultures have been circling around Lee, certainly this week and certainly over the last 24 hours, but that hasn't been the case with Jordan. We first spoke to Lee a couple of weeks ago about him, and at that stage he was unavailable because they were obviously challenging for top 4 in the championship. So as that started to change a little bit, thankfully we was able to get him. We needed an extra second rower or an extra middle to provide that internal competition, and he comes just like Dom Crosby came. He comes very, very hungry, wanting to prove himself, wanting to help us get better and improve. And the best teams, I feel, have great internal competition, and we needed to add to that here. And Jordan certainly brings that. I'm excited about seeing him play tomorrow. He's only been here a couple of days. It's been great to work with him, and it'd be good to see him play, and the boys have made him feel really welcome, and hopefully they'll enjoy it.
With the injuries you've had this season and the problems, I suppose, around selection, why have you felt that Jordan Thompson and his position in particular is the one that you've looked to focus on and try and get someone in before the deadline?
Well, I think if you noticed the last 2 weeks with bringing Dom Crosby in and Jordan, I felt we were light in the front row, and I felt looking at the injury situation, and I'll never blame injuries, by the way, I'll never use it as an excuse, but the injury situation meant that internal competition for those front row spots, and to lighten the load on some of those front rows who've done it tough for us this year. If you remember, we lost Keith Galloway earlier on this season, never replaced him, so although we've got some young players who are very keen and not far off nudging the way in, we just felt that to really give the place a freshen up and a rev up, Don was perfect for that. Likewise, if you look at our back row, I think on the back of the Wakefield game, we lost Brett Ferris and Stevie Ward. You add to that Brett Delaney the week before at Cass, so 3 of your second rows are gone. Our only fit second rower at that time was Carl Ablett, and it was an area where we felt we needed some help, we needed some strengthening, but again, we needed that internal competition. So when those 3 are back and fit, they've got to compete for a spot. They don't just get in because they're fit and available now. They have to play, they have to train well, and when they play, they have to play well to keep the shirt, and that's what it's got to be at a club like this.
Talking of injuries, James Buchanan and Nathaniel Pateru back in the squad this week. How pleased are you to see those back involved and available to you finally?
Yeah, absolutely delighted. I've not seen much of Nat Pateru, and I think we all want to see what he's got and what he can bring. So, he'll have another fitness test today, where we'll make a call on him. And likewise with Jamie, he's done it tough. I thought he had an outstanding season last year, and we miss him. We miss that experience in that middle when he doesn't play. And he's not far off. He'll have another fitness test again today, where we'll make a call on whether he's in a good enough shape to give us some minutes tomorrow. So we need to be smart with them. They've both come a long way now, and again, it's getting the balance right of some of next week, some of what's to come in the middle eights, but also keeping that momentum. So we're trying to make smart decisions as well as we're just trying to make smart decisions.
Been a lot of pressure on you and your team the last few weeks to try and get that final spot in the top 8. Now that your fate's been sealed for the remainder of the season, what's the atmosphere been like? Has there been any noticeable change among the players now that I suppose you know where you're going to be for the next few weeks of the season?
I think initially there was a bit of disappointment, certainly from myself, and certainly from Jimmy as well. Both disappointed with it not going down to this last weekend, albeit we knew it weren't in our hands, but I'm disappointed it doesn't go to this weekend. But having said that, we turned it around pretty quickly, and we want to attack these middle eights. We want to be really positive about our play. This club has been in this situation a couple of years ago. There's a number of players who've gone through this and experienced it, and come out the other side in a decent place. So we obviously need to tap into a bit of that, but we need the place to be positive again, and that's coming. And the smiles on people's faces is coming, and the transformation in how we go about our business is coming too. So we've got to build on that and ensure, I suppose, if you want a phrase for it, we attack the middle eights.
You talked about momentum. In a way, by having that Challenge Cup game in between league fixtures, is it a good thing to have so many games in succession now, just to try and build and build and build, rather than be a bit stop-start now at this stage?
I just think every game's important to us at this moment in time, and I think, especially without looking too far ahead, tomorrow's really important. Yes, we've talked about the semi here today, and I've mentioned the middle eights a little bit, but every game's important. The squad know that we need to improve every week if we need to get back to where this club needs to be and where this team needs to be. So the fact that we have a run of games is great, and I think the fact that we have some really challenging opposition as well, some opposition that are going to throw some different things at us that we probably wouldn't expect. The semi's going to throw some challenges to us. Warrington are a very, very good team, and then the middle eights, who knows? So, but fundamentally, our focus has been on Salford this week. All we've talked about is Salford. All we've talked about is trying to play well against them. We know they're in the eights with us, and we know we will play them again this year. So we look forward to going there tomorrow night and giving a good account of ourselves.